Hey gang, Diana here today with a really imperfect video. Not only is the video imperfect, but I messed up this page so many times. Okay, that has a background, I think it's called the Bamboo Stencil from Stencil Girl, and I'm just knocking back the background there a little bit with some gesso. Any kind of gesso will do, of course. And just pushing it out to the edges. That's also a stamp from one of, I think it's Phrases 2 from Tim Holtz, that label down at the bottom of the page. So I'm just using a palette knife to clean that up. And now I'm doing some writing, and here's not, the writing itself is fine. Perfection is a myth. And the pen I was using never dried, which is what kind of led me down to the road to mistakes on this video. Not a bad thing, not a bad thing at all. What you're going to see coming up is sort of a spillover from my technical difficulties from last week, where I accidentally put my camera onto time-lapse and some other weird mode and didn't realize it. So that's going to get funky. And so while we're watching me think here and write, I just give you some of the background to this page and how it sort of came to be. The next thing I did to this page was put another layer of gesso on it, which smeared the black ink, which gave me gray. And while I love gray, I want to plan my grays. It just can really get not so beautiful when something like that happens. So I wound up going over this with some texture paste, some Ranger texture paste, and you'll see that coming up. You'll see all this coming up, but it's going to go by super quick. And the texture paste, I really like that stuff a lot. It dries pretty quick. And here comes the really weird stuff in the texture paste. And it doesn't quite cover it, so I go ahead and let that dry. And did want to tell you to keep that covered, that texture paste. It dries out in the jar real quick. I stamped out that Life Isn't Perfect and smeared it. I'm using a red pigment ink stamp pad there from Avery L. Still didn't cover, so here's my hand just covering up with gesso. Can't deal with that. Stamp the leftover ink on that pad. Just definitely run that underwater. Thought, okay, here I go. I'm going to get some thread. I had thread, and then I came up with the string and this sort of gnarly, snarly little mess of chaos, which I really felt like that all really lent itself well. So I glued that down with more gesso. And here on out, I will be talking through the video, and there's a normalcy has been restored. Enjoy. Just when you thought I was done, I remembered this antique, it's old paper. It's almost white. It's a greenish white. I thought I had an antique linen, but I don't. So I'm just going to scooch this around here and just make sure, if you're doing this, make sure your gesso's dry. Look what I just did. Make sure your gesso's dry before you do such a stupid thing as that. I'm just going to wipe it off as much as I can and really let this dry. Absolutely, positively dry now. I even cleaned off my hands somewhat to make sure. No wet spots. Okay, so I just put some masking tape, just further thinking about that. the whites and exploiting the whites a little bit further. Just laying some of that down pretty haphazardly. And now I'm going to grab this again. And I think I'm just going to kind of go around the edges a little bit. There's this really big gloppy bit right there. So you can, the thing that I love about Distress ink pads is that you can really push them around. You can wet them and they'll run. So I really like that. I mean, you can definitely, this page is so heavy with stuff that there's some wet still over there, so I'm going to just avoid that spot. You can, I'm sure this is, my camera's in the shop, so I don't have the best camera. I just have my iPhone camera right now. I'm going to put a little bit of that down on my craft mat, and then that's a good way to go around too. Okay, so now where does this go? I kind of feel like it needs to be torn. Oops. Oh, wait, no, that's perfect. Okay. See? Okay, so I think I'll just put a piece of tape here. I have to let that dry. I'm going to put a piece of tape here and then put a piece, like a little piece of tape here and here. You'll see it in the, I'll take a picture. Bye, gang. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Supplies are listed below. Hop on over to my blog for more fun with art journaling, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, P.S. Hello and welcome to all my new subscribers. I keep meaning to say that and I forget, but it's really great to have new faces here and comments to read from you guys. Thanks a lot. See you soon.